Hello guys, this is Matrix Ray, and I'm showing you some resolution comparisons between native 1440p versus native PS2. I will also be doing some frame rate testing and show you guys the best settings for Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. We are using a custom resolution of 2560 by 1440p, native, 16 times anisotropic filtering, mapping is on automatic, full direct 3D. We are using 16 times MSAA. At 16 times MSAA at 1440p, the game costs around 1.4 gigabytes of video RAM, and we are also using auto flush. Small thing I have to explain. Normally when I boot up the game, since I've beaten this game, I boot up the game, sometimes there's some graphical glitches, so what I recommend doing is just booting up the game, turning on auto flush, get out of this whole menu, get back into the game. As soon as that graphical glitch is gone, go back into hacks again and you can turn it off. That seems to work because apparently it is very costly on the performance. So I haven't noticed the performance jump while leaving it on, but we're going to leave it on for this video. But do what I say, or you can just do it your own way because I could be in the wrong, but you can turn it off at some point while the game's already up. Accurate date, fast default, and we are using texture filtering of display and FXAA shader. Bilinear forced, there is one HUD that I found in the game that remains blocky, but we're not having it on forced for that specific reason. It's partly the reason, but this game has a few issues and I have to explain them. We are also using D3D11 hardware for the renderer, and here's the explaining. So this game is mostly recommended on OpenGL because OpenGL has the PlayStation 2 effect, exclusive effect. On OpenGL hardware, where on D3D11 it's the effect is gone. It's looking like the Xbox version. So I played through this whole game on D3D11, and unfortunately this game also has a bit of a broken custom resolution and also a broken internal resolution. Now the game seems to render, well, tries to render at this resolution, but it looks a little bit softer than the actual resolution I'm targeting at. So I do recommend super sampling this game. I did play through the whole game at 5120 by 2880 custom resolution on D3D11, and it looked really nice. We are going to do this resolution for this video. Also, not only that the custom and internal resolutions are broken for D3D11, they're also broken on OpenGL, except they're even worse on OpenGL. So what we're going to do is I will show you the OpenGL stuff very, very shortly. We are using MTVU. I have, if you have more than 3 cores, I have 6 cores. I do recommend turning this on. It's an open world game. Alright. Now, native PS2, as you see, it targets 640 by 448. The game also targets 30 frames per second. So let's have a look around. So you can see on native PS2, that effect is in place. It's kind of hard to tell. I will change over very shortly so you can see. But D3D11 software mode has the effect, but D3D11 hardware mode is missing the effect. So as you see, this game's looking very, very blurry, hard to see what's going on. The ground's looking very, very blurry as well. There's a lot of aliasing on the ground, especially on this texture. It's just, there's a load of aliasing at all. There's a lot of aliasing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to native 1440p, and as you can see, everything looks a lot clearer. Now I do want to note this is not quite native 1440p. It does look a little softer than 1440p. Looks like more of like a 1200p-ish sort of resolution, but it does look pretty nice and clear. It's a big difference compared to native PS2, but as you see, the effect is completely missing. So let's have another look at native PS2. So this is native PS2 with the effect on. This is native 1440p with the effect off. Auto flush is on as well, so that's good. Now this game has a working 16 times anisotropic filtering, which is really good. And where if you go to native PS2, it seems to be like roughly bilinear. It's kind of hard to tell on the road. If you go to here, you can see there's a lot of aliasing here, as I mentioned before. Now back to native 1440p, you can see the detail up in this building is a lot clearer, which is really good. Native PS2, there you go once again, native 1440p. Let's go to the HUDs, and then I'll show you the OpenGL very shortly. So here is the HUDs. This is not a fully rendered map yet, so you can see it looks very, very blocky and blurry. So if I zoom in, it loads me into the map. You can see even when I'm loaded in and I zoom out as far as I can, you can see that the burger's aging quite a bit, the pizza HUD's aging, gun HUD's aging, These buttons down here are not looking too bad, I'm not going to lie there. They're a little bit blurry, but they're looking pretty good for a PlayStation 2 game. So that's good. And we'll get out of that. Alright, well that's that. So if I go to other HUDs right here, you can see that, what do you call it? Like this artwork back here, this is not looking all that great right now. This is looking pretty blurry. If I go to native PS2, you can see that it's not much of a difference, because that artwork is fitted for a 448p display or 480p display. Looking a little bit better, but looking more blocky as well. This HUD up here, the text is looking really blurry and blocky, but that's a very stretched out text. Now what we're going to do, we're going to go to OpenGL real quick. Also, if you are using OpenGL on a custom resolution, it breaks. So what you're going to do is you're going to select an internal resolution. Here we go. This is the closest to what I'm targeting. OpenGL, hardware, and as you see, the effect is in place. But do you also notice that the game looks a lot blurry as well? It's not much of a difference, but it is noticeably blurrier on Direct3D, on OpenGL compared to Direct3D11. If I go to software mode, you can see that the effect is still in place with hardware mode and OpenGL. So that proves that the OpenGL has the working effect, but as I mentioned, you have to play on an internal resolution, not a custom resolution. Custom resolution breaks it on OpenGL for this game. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So with Direct3D11, I forced it with texture filtering bilinear forced, because on Direct3D11, and I think also OpenGL as well, the outlines of CJ, the outlines of the car remain blocky. Yeah, a lot of the 3D environment looks blocky, so on the outlines at least, not on the actual inside of it, if you know what I mean. So that's not good at all, so I filtered it for that specific reason. So this game does have some resolution problems. So definitely super sample. As I mentioned, I played on a custom, I played on a internal ×8, so 5K. So it looked really, really nice and clear. But other than that, that's pretty much it. I hope I didn't miss anything. I think that's everything, but other than that, see you later.